Afternoon and welcome to the world class Moody Center. The Moody College graduation ceremony will begin in 5 minutes. Please find your seats at this time.
Dean Mercy, the convocation is assembled. Let the Moody College graduation ceremony begin.
Please join me in thanking Dr. Ramirez-Berg, who has served for many years as both the Moody College Graduation Marshal and the university-wide Commencement Marshal. Please be seated. I'm delighted to officially welcome you to the Moody College of Communication 2024 graduation ceremony. Thank you to the family, friends, staff, and faculty who are here today to recognize and celebrate the Moody College class of 2024. Let's hear it for today's graduates. Throughout the ceremony, we will be asking a few groups to stand and be recognized. Please stand as you are able. And to that, we start today's ceremony by recognizing our student banner carriers for participating in our graduation processional. Jordy Love is from New York. Jordy is graduating with a degree in communication and leadership, and during her time at UT has worked as a campus tour guide for admissions and an undergraduate learning assistant for Moody College. Next up for Jordy is moving back to New York to start a consulting job with Ernst & Young. Let's hear it for Jordy. Our second banner carrier is Xavier Ingram from Plano, Texas. Xavier is graduating with a degree in radio, television, film. While a Moody student, Xavier served as a Moody College Dean's Ambassador, a special thank you for that, a student associate in the Moody Advising Office, and was involved in the UT Black Lens student organization. This summer, Xavier will attend the UTLA program and intern for ACE Entertainment with hopes to secure a full-time opportunity out in LA. Congratulations, Xavier. Thank you, Jordy, and Xavier for your participation in today's graduation ceremony, and congratulations for your accomplishments throughout your time in Moody College. Now it is my pleasure to welcome the faculty stage party and introduce several key members of Moody College's leadership team. Please stand when your name is called, but please hold your applause until all the names are read. Anita Evangelisti, Senior Associate Dean for Faculty Affairs and Graduate Education. Cassandra Jaguar Alvarado, Senior Associate Dean for Undergraduate Education and Teaching Excellence. Our Associate Deans, Celeste Gonzalez de Bustamante, Maya Henry, Noah Eisenberg, and Assistant Dean Kyle Clark. And representing our programs of study are Joe Cutbirth, Assistant Professor of Instruction in Communication and Leadership, David Reif, Director of Journalism and Media, Natalie Tyndall, Director of the Stan Richards School of Advertising and Public Relations, Courtney Bird, Associate Chair of Speech, Language, and Hearing Sciences, Craig Scott, Chair of Communication Studies, Cindy McCreary, Chair of Radio, Television, Film, and Dave Junker, Director of the Moody College Honors Program. You may be seated. One of the things we are most proud of here at Moody are our exceptional faculty, whose knowledge, passion, and devotion to our students are one of the greatest assets we have in our college. These faculty are at the top of their fields and prepare our students to discover their paths and truly change the world. Would all members of the Moody College faculty, including those already introduced, please stand and be recognized for your extraordinary work as professors, researchers, mentors, and leaders in the world of communication. Next, I would like to recognize and thank the amazing advising and student support staff of the Moody College Office of Undergraduate Education. These incredible professionals play an indispensable roles in the lives of our students during their time on campus. We offer an additional thanks to undergraduate education staff for coordinating today's graduation ceremony. Let's thank them all for their outstanding work today and throughout the year. Lastly, before we begin the formal program, I'd like to acknowledge another incredibly, I knew I would get choked up, so I have tissues. I'd like to acknowledge another incredibly important group of people here today, the loved ones of our graduates. I ask that all you graduating students stand, turn around, and shower your parents, family, and friends with the gratitude for the countless ways they have supported you throughout your career. With the introductions now complete, we will now begin the formal part of our graduation ceremony by honoring the graduating members of the Moody College Honors Program, directed by Dave Junker. Honors Program graduates, please stand so we may recognize you for your hard work and determination. You are prepared to lead the future of communication, and we want to applaud you for your accomplishments on the 40 acres. Please stand. Now we are going to take a moment to recognize those graduates who are first-generation students, meaning they are the first in their family to graduate from college. We are also proud to recognize the third cohort of Moody College Success Scholars Program to graduate from Moody. MCSS, as it is known, is an enrichment program for students of similar backgrounds to enhance their academic and leadership skills and focus on a timely graduation. To all of our first-gen and MCSS graduates, earning your undergraduate degree is an important next step along your journey of accomplishments and continued success. UT Austin and the Moody College have a commitment to supporting all of you, and we are excited to honor and recognize you and your families today for such an important milestone. If you are a first-generation graduate or part of our Moody College Success Scholars Program, we invite you to stand and let us recognize your accomplishment today. Congratulations to all the graduates. I'm thrilled to be here today to witness this pivotal moment in your lives. This is my first graduation as dean, and I never could have imagined how special it would feel to stand up here in front of so many amazing students and watch you as you celebrate what is one of the most important milestones in your lives. I will also say it is hard to find the right sneakers for burnt orange regalia, but in honor of the class of 2024, I put a lot of work into these. My tissue stash is also now gone. I say this because I know this is a particularly special moment for you in the arena today. You ended your high school careers in 2020 during the pandemic, which means you did not get to have a traditional high school graduation ceremony. I am moved to think how it must have felt this morning to put on your cap and gown, and I hope you treasure this moment forever. You deserve it. Your Moody College degree is so incredibly valuable, and I want you to know how exceptional you are. Not only have you had the best education, but hands-on, real-world experiences that will drive you forward. Whether it was something captivating you wrote for the Daily Texan, a patient who you treated, a short film you poured your heart and soul into, working one of Austin's many exciting events like South by Southwest or the Country Music Television Awards, or attending UTLA or UTNY. You have done what so many people only dream of. But I think the most valuable thing truly about earning your degree from Moody College is the community you walk away with, the friends, supporters, and professors who will stand with you in your corner for the rest of your lives and careers. I hope you look around this room today and you feel that. And I hope that you're excited about the future, because I can tell you now it is going to be incredible. Now, this is when I remind you that I will soon be celebrating my 23rd wedding anniversary with a young man who sat only a few rows away from me at my college graduation. So your future could be in this room in more ways than one. Here's to an unforgettable 4 years and a lifetime of joy, success, and happiness to come. Let's get on with the ceremony. It is now time to recognize our first group of graduating Moody students. We will read all of their names to congratulate them on their accomplishments. We invite you to applaud for your students and their friends, but we ask that you hold your biggest cheers until all the candidates from each degree area have been named, so we may hear every student's name today. In addition, we ask that all graduating students and all guests please show respect to your classmates by staying till the very end of the ceremony before departing. I have important instructions to share with you that you'll need for the campus commencement ceremony tomorrow evening. Plus, you won't want to miss remarks from our keynote speaker later in the program. Thank you for your understanding and honoring this request to remain here until the end of our program. Today, we will begin by presenting the degree candidates for the Bachelor of Science in Communication and Leadership, followed by the degree candidates for the Bachelor of Science in Communication Sciences and Disorders, and the Bachelor of Science in Speech, Language, and Hearing Sciences. Would those students please approach the stage?
Hello, I'm Professor Joe Cutbirth, and I'm honored to represent our Communication and Leadership undergraduate degree candidates. Dean Mercy, on behalf of the faculty of the Communication and Leadership degree, I proudly present our Communication and Leadership students who have completed their academic requirements and are entitled to receive their degrees.
Olivia K. Rocha.
Clarice Ackerman. Esmeralda Bayanira Aguilar. Sheridan Holt. Bailey Balderson.
Maria Fernanda Rociano. Aliyah Ari Moore.
Josue Andrade. Santino Camacho. Anna Decker. Caitlin Harmon. Marina Kugler. Maddie Ann Hatfield.
Ryan Dylan Watts. Alondra Q. Sanchez. Shruti Ramachandran. Chloe Petty. Victoria Holiday Vo. Daniela Sanchez.
Piper Faskin.
McKenna Elizabeth Tippett.
Alexis Alvarado. Faith Bang.
Chandler J. Mum.
Macy Elizabeth Griffin. Eric Jesus Leon.
Anna Laura Moritz. Catherine Thompson. Caroline Melody. Mia Sabam. Samantha Mila Ungerman.
Zoe Guillen.
Haley Miles Pulser. Catherine Grace Pruitt. Mary Grace Young.
Inez Guevara Bata. Emma Daughtry. Emily Elizabeth Delgado.
Jenna Weber.
Chala Hoshkara. Jack Ferruzzo.
Brett Russell. Maui Trevino.
Cooper Adams. Sitlali Blas.
Nani Viavazo.
Ryan Galloway. Peter Andrew Griffiths.
Miranda Angelica Nagel.
Nora Abdi. Rachel Carls.
Juniper Ludke.
Montserrat Luna Mercado. Elaine Twee Lam.
Isabella Lizette Osborne. Emma Nieto. Eleanor Stein. Tomas Marrero.
Jordana Love.
Julia Oppenheim.
Carly Fisher.
Olivia Swartz. Gabriel Chester Shankman. Jacob Stamen. Mia Retnam. Samantha Moles. Ryan Mitchell.
Ethan Benafshaha. Kaylee Elizabeth Boyd. Sky Dodson.
Lauren Renee Munoz. Marissa Sire.
Eduardo Almazan.
Connor Philip McCormick.
Dean Mercy, this completes the list of Bachelor of Science candidates from Communication and Leadership. We will now continue with the degree candidates from the Department of Speech, Language, and Hearing Sciences.
Hello, I'm Dr. Courtney Bird, Associate Chair of the Department of Speech, Language, and Hearing Sciences, and I'm honored to represent our undergraduate degree candidates. Dean Mercy, I proudly present our undergraduate students in Communication Sciences and Disorders and Speech, Language, and Hearing Sciences who have completed their academic requirements and are entitled to receive their degrees.
Okay, so we actually have a few more CLD graduates. Encore for CLD! Woo! Okay, let's go.
Mia Ariana Perez.
Yes. What is your name? We don't have a card. Tabitha Joseph. Woo! Quickly followed by Rodrigo Calandra Martins.
Grace Spain Roberts. Taylor Marie Soward.
Caleb Kim. Ellen Clark.
Mallory Meagle.
Claire Cheney. Anna K. Aquaro. Kingsley Cashion. Emily Bella Holycamp. Catherine Clark.
Madison Joy Ray.
Isa Aska Adnan Rafiq.
Holly Lovelace.
Now we're moving on to Speech, Language, and Hearing Sciences.
Brooke Danielle Haley.
Taylor Wilcox. Alexandra Womack. Aaron Ranefeld. Olivia Metz.
Kohler Grace Besley. Ainsley Hale.
Michaela Ray Robles.
Kennedy Nicole Houston. Lachlan Atwood.
Reese Miles.
Valeria Nicola Bogdanova. Haley Garrison Hester. Maheen Khan. Carolina Lewis.
Jessica Vasquez Hernandez. Christopher Wilder.
Juliana Contreras Alvear. Carlos Hernandez.
Valerie Uchemudi Ofoku. Jennifer Lynn Wynn.
Mia Kate Abbey.
Addison May Williams.
Catalina Filomena Delgado.
Sofia Isabella Rios.
Carson Meredith Hartung. Audrey Atienza. Alexis Casey. Cassandra Aquino.
Madison Polonez. John Ruffier.
Alexis Garcia. Hope Decker. Brianna Joan Lopez. Eve King.
Devin Chase Witzel.
Abigail Bard.
Sydney Simone Rowe.
Meredith Jett.
Pritina Ramkissoon. Hannah Lane Timrek.
Libby Reed Lester. Andrew Dillon Cabrera. Rebecca Ann Heldenbrand. Adam Helbig.
Miriam Michelle Powell.
Michael Del Simuto. Manasi Chande.
Maxwell Mitchell.
Alex Meltzer. Madeline Mason.
Kirby Jane Landry. Emily Ashman. Sarah Lindsay Crow.
Cayman Schneider. McLean Baker Masraf.
Noel Alejandro Estrada Jr.
Avery Madison Williams.
Bentley Marie Cotton.
Caleb Holben.
Anna Kamenetz.
Caroline Reagan Morris. Sophie Robinson. Claire Madeline Weingart.
Haley Vivian Cole.
Stephen George Navarro.
Anthony Joseph Cherokee. Caden Hansen. Veronica Luella Gotway.
John Copley Payton. Allison Royce.
Tatiana Natalia Gamboa. Citabria Lorraine Barrales.
Gianna Rivas.
Danielle Haas.
Bailey Pollock.
Preston Allen Gertner.
Benjamin Hananel. Clara Maria Gonzalez. Esther Sarang Chong.
Paige Victoria Robles. Erica Silva.
Tori Kayla Cortines Mota. Blake Burke. Joshua Nash Corcoran. Charles Hanna. Nicholas Haas.
Cooper Knox Simons.
Wesley Boyles.
David Hudson McElroy. Laura Shepard.
Pira Keith. Natalie Noel Driver.
Angela Michelle Silva.
Samia Bilquis Arni.
Kylie Shay Sisk.
Maria Elena Cortez.
Yelena Cerrato.
Caroline Crockover.
Russell Wynn. Carson Parker.
Cole Kalanek.
Madison Sophia Clayton.
Piper Coleman.
Anna McElhenney.
Rachel Buxbaum.
Riley Wilcox. Edgardo Mondolfi.
Oscar Carlos de la Torre Pinedo.
Brandon Strombler.
Fernando Ceraceras. Ella Irwin.
Riley Robb. Michaela Morgan.
Jillian Garza.
Kayla Idani Sanchez. Brianna Milan.
Sarah Kate Breeding.
Major Wheelis.
Grace Emmert.
Jenna Williamson, Dylan Matthew McCarthy, Kelly Joe Pash,
Ricardo Fontanes,
Carolina Orantia, JC Oster,
Kayla Hernandez, Lindley Jane Brown,
Susan Oberschmidt, Ryan Moore,
Mikhail Gazizov, Ryan Alexander Cabrera, Allison Albert,
Elisa Corneo,
Audrey Elizabeth Clay,
Mackenzie Mickey,
Charlene May Bobadilla,
Porter Elizabeth Mace,
Catherine Ann Dishington,
Ana Paula Munguia Ayarsegoya,
Noah Luna Rodriguez, Rashida Adeleke,
Carter Edward Moxley, Michael Eli Mata, Jocelyn Lily Shu, Jane Yi, Ricardo Marroquin Gomez,
Alex Garza, Cole Braden Curley Young,
Dylan McAdams,
I invite Dr. Scott up to the stage to please recognize your CMS graduates.
I am Craig Scott, Chair of the Department of Communication Studies, and it's my distinct privilege and honor to represent our undergraduate degree candidates. Dean Mercy, on behalf of the faculty in the Department of Communication Studies, I proudly present our Communication Studies students who have completed their academic requirements and are entitled to receive their degrees.
Okay. Now we welcome our Speech, Language, and Hearing Sciences graduates.
Lauren Olivia Guerra, Holly Nicole Lillibridge, Mackenzie Lee Keaton,
Abby Maldonado,
Aubrey Harrison, Hannah Fritchie,
Riley Sakin,
Elisa Ishikawa, Kylie Engstrom, Yvette Canchola.
Elizabeth Zerger. Mia Faith Alyssa Myers.
Emma Paige Shula.
Amy In Tan Dao. Alyssa Baron.
Bridget Everett O'Neill.
Grace Evans.
Clarice Tudon. Madison Triggs.
Trinity Crockett. Rachel Allen. Stephanie de los Santos. Priscilla Nicole Lozano. Olivia Lepine. Caitlin Krogfoss. Hannah Borland.
Caroline Scott.
Reagan Wesley Cole. Catherine Altizer.
Charlotte Vanio. Taylor Nance. Abigail Kamisa Talent. Allison Rendon.
Avery Isabella Kim.
Fernando Tejada Escobedo. Corinne Aliyah Siddiqui.
Leah Forrest.
Alexis Nicole Morales.
Alexandria Arzola. Kaylee Nicole Loggins.
Kayla McLean. Alexandra Rogers. Emily Renee Rangal. Salette Rios. Rachel Elizabeth Rodriguez. Lorena Margarita Rodriguez Perales. Tanya Popoca Tirado. Paulina Mariela Pulido.
Eileen Garcia.
Taylor Dane Salsky. Zoe Isabella McKnight. Meredith Wojan.
Zaina Gaffar. Margaret Ballard.
Claudia Maravilla.
Daniela Alejandra Galarza.
Christine Yoon. Olivia Rebello Kuhn.
Denise Kim.
Sophia Ortley Guthrie. Natalia Orozco. Ana Maria Maldonado.
Ishmael Haya Bermejo. Mia Jo Cruz.
Rachel Martinez. Audrey Wines.
Carson Keller. Viviana Catarina Gonzalez.
Julissa Orozco.
Elizabeth Bowie. Veronica Cruz.
Kylie Middleton. Kiera Ryan.
Zoe Bresner. Madison Baller. Peyton Grace Lauricella. Sydney Michelle Childress. Grace Juden. Patty Jacoby.
Erika Paulina Ruiz Sanchez. Bianca Revote Sula. Laurel Williamson. Jimena Zarate Trueba.
Paula Estefanía de la Garza. Isha Ashar.
Alondra Juluisa Munoz.
Kaylee McLean.
Kylie Marie Griffin. Karen Yamileth Cerda. Dana Coonliff.
Olivia Tucker.
Elizabeth Dryborough.
Jessica Perez.
Leslie Brown.
Shaylin McLaughlin. Lindy McGee.
Sophia Fabi.
Leah Simonetta.
Sabrina Grenett. Capriana Maria Lopez. Katie Chantal Cole.
Cameron J. Monroe.
Isabella Candanosa.
Dean Mercy, this completes the list of Bachelor of Science candidates from the Department of Speech, Language, and Hearing Sciences. Please introduce our next speaker.
Congratulations to all of our graduates so far. Now we have the pleasure of hearing from the President of the Communication Council, Madison Morris. Madison is a senior public relations and journalism major from Houston, Texas. In addition to serving as this year's Comm Council president, she's involved in numerous organizations both on and off campus. She's a proud member of Delta Xi chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority and has served as the chapter's historian since her initiation in spring of 2021. This year, Madison is a Moody Media Scholar for Change. She also works as a creative development assistant for Texas Athletics, photographing sporting events, and I see her all around the Moody complex doing the same. You may know her photography work under her pseudonym, 35mm Maddie. Following graduation, Madison aspires to work in sports as a photographer and digital media strategist. She is joined today by her parents, Janie and Richard, and her 3 siblings, Evan, Lola, and Lewis. Seeing Madison's work and witnessing her dedication to her craft, I know she will do amazing things. Please join me in welcoming to the podium Communication Council President and Moody College 2024 graduate, Madison Morris.
Thank you, Dean Mercy, for the introduction and the opportunity to address the crowd today. To Moody faculty and staff, my fellow classmates, family and friends, good afternoon. When I got elected president of the Communication Council last April, it was honestly an afterthought that getting to speak at the Moody College graduation ceremony was a part of the job because I was excited to serve my college community. The pressure didn't really hit me until people began asking me what I would say, and I couldn't give them an answer. So in natural fashion, I finished the speech just as I finished most of my college assignments, at the buzzer. I spent months thinking about how I wanted to approach my speech, and one morning in January, it finally hit me. You see, back in January, I got to attend a lecture by retired UT professor and renowned photographer Eli Reed, and I never got to take a class with Eli Reed, but attending that lecture made me realize how much I missed out on taking a class with him. At the close of his lecture, Reed offered advice to the young students like me who sat in the packed room that evening. He said, "Observe, read all you can about everything." He also said, "Life is important, enjoy it." And I want to echo those same sentiments to everybody in this room or currently watching this live stream. I also thought it was hilarious that as the audience began to clap for Reed, he took out a camera and started taking photos of us clapping at him. So of course, me being a photographer as well, I have to follow suit and take advantage of the opportunity presented before me. I'm also gonna take a Be Real with y'all really quick. Hold on. Okay. Ironically, I also got accepted into the University of Texas at Austin in January of 2020. We all know what happened a few months after that. I'm sure I speak for all of us that transitioning from high school to college during a pandemic was not easy, and challenges still persist to this day. The world looks a lot different from when I first stepped foot on the 40 acres. Some of my best memories were made in campus spaces that served as a safe haven for myself and students who look like me, and unfortunately, they are no longer serving their original purpose. And I'm not gonna lie, some days it's hard to remain optimistic knowing that there's so much injustice going on in the world, including in our own backyard. I say that to say it's been quite the journey, but as this particular journey comes to an end, another will begin for each of us graduates as we go out into the world. To my classmates, to my graduates, y'all are change makers, and I wholeheartedly believe that. It's so important to stand up for what you believe in, and I've seen firsthand how change is accomplished through strength in numbers. I hope you take what you've learned at UT and use it to make a positive difference. To my friends in the Communication Council and to our incredible advisor, Assistant Dean Clark, it's truly been an honor to grow with y'all and to serve as president. I'm forever grateful for the experiences and lifelong memories I've made while being in this organization. To the Moody faculty and staff that make this the best college on the 40 acres. Thank you for your dedication to providing students with resources to succeed and plenty of opportunities to get experience during their college career. And finally, to my family, my support system, thank you for believing in me and always encouraging me to go after my goals. I'm so incredibly grateful for your guidance, the FaceTime calls on the way to class, the care packages, all of it. 4 years ago, I went home for spring break and I never returned to high school. So standing here and graduating in person with some of my family and closest friends is surreal, to say the least. As a first-generation college student, it means the world to me that I'll be leaving this university with not just 1, but 2 degrees. And I'm forever grateful. And I'm grateful for my experiences. I'm really gonna miss this college and the wonderful people who make it the best college so deeply. And I wanna end by sharing with you all my favorite quote, which is, "What you water grows." For me, it serves as a reminder that things take time, and sometimes all you need is to start. And what starts here changes the world, am I right? This quote has gotten me through some of my toughest days, and I hope it resonates with you just as it has for me all of these years. I'm so excited to see what the future holds for us all, and congratulations to the class of 2024.
Thank you, Madison, for those moving words. What you water grows, a powerful metaphor. And I expect you have as moving of an image captured on your phone there. Cherish that as you celebrate this moment. Please, another hand for our distinguished Comm Council President. We will now present the degree candidates for the Bachelor of Science in Advertising. Will those candidates please approach the stage?
Proceed.
Hello, I'm Dr. Natalie Tyndall, Director of the Stan Richards School of Advertising and Public Relations. I am honored to first represent our undergraduate degree candidates in advertising. Dean Mercy, on behalf of the faculty in the Stan Richards School of Advertising and Public Relations, I proudly present our advertising students who have completed their academic requirements and are entitled to receive their degrees.
Aiden Maxwell.
Terrence Jones.
Now, Aiden Maxwell Huntley.
Claire Clements. Isabella Malin Gomez. Laura Hermes.
Mia Matei. Angus Sewell McCann. Stellan Kwan.
John Burton. Addison Hibden. Cameron Jackson. Daniela Janolo.
Connor Aiden Meredith.
Emily Margaret Jones. Alyssa Paige Lindblom. Kimberly Ann Castillo.
Kathy Tran. Diana Carolina Ramos Sanchez.
Coral Lee.
Brian Emmanuel Rodriguez. Destiny Reyes.
Kate Korapova. Emily Gullickson. Christine Holly.
Singmin Park.
Mary Rose Rutledge.
Lily Williams. Anna Van Os. Alara Ozdawan. Sadie Caldwell McCabe.
Catherine Blaylock.
Charles Stewart Wallace.
Westland Corley.
Brooke Elizabeth Carlson.
Ashley Black.
Cassandra Ochoa. Adrian Uresti. Jackson Meyer. Miyu Nakata.
Fatima Grano Salazar.
Grace Mabry.
Isabel Kiever.
Journey Nicole Fuentes Saiz. Isabella Martinez. Sophia Martinez.
Lillian Dimmock.
Jordan Mendez.
Chloe Lane Carpenter. Francis Boatwright.
Zadia Wallace. Anne Wynn. Ethan Christopher Simpson. Misa Nazarino.
Asim Agarwal. Renata Garcia. Justin Lee. Caleb Brock.
Jacob Rubenstein.
Daniela Wooden Chagoyan.
Serene Mohammed El Bakli. Lou Khan. Abby Javarn Barnett. Antonella Haro del Rio.
Ana Paula Ponce de Leon.
Dima Korochkin.
Chastity Delana Webb. Zachary Caleb Rodriguez.
Naima Lucia Huerica.
Layla Penrice. Anthony Salcedo.
Christine Camarillo. America Hernandez Mendoza. Catherine Emma Hermanson.
JC Carlisle Jameson.
Avery Lynn Smith.
Ian Kenneth Dillard.
Jason Nguyen.
Nicholas Banda. Anthony Ha.
Emiliano Reyes. Kyla Alexandria Mead. Jaden Pick. Victoria Navarro.
Isabel Alvarez. Grayson Noel Applegate.
Haley Elizabeth Wood.
Emma Kolajicic. Lainey Smith Bowles. Emma Forbes.
Alex Skaronsky.
Kristen Biggs.
Brianna Russell.
Andrea Bazan.
Mira McLaurin.
Marina Garcia de Quevedo Zamora. Vanessa Buelna. Daniela Lelo de la Rea Flores.
Lawrence Win Tai.
Stephanie Lopez Moreno.
Sydney Marburger.
Thomas Kulbicki. Bethany Michelle Lucker.
Catherine Smith Patton.
Luis Elizondo. Allison Kessler.
Alexa Smith. Jin Ho Ri. Gabriela Veliz.
Aaron Ayach. Hannah Garcia. Skylar Keating.
Olivia Claire Wall.
Charlotte Kane. Natalie Kane.
Macy Shutan.
Katie Court.
Ari Leon Weiss.
Jordan Benjamin Stein. Jacob Walker.
Cameron Coulter Colvin. Jacqueline Loya Gomez. Isabella Grace Coco.
Georgia Rice. Jessica Nicole
Quinn. Sadie Denise Smith.
Abby Grace Berge.
Paulo Romano Penick. Humberto Montemayor.
Fernanda Guerra. Gracie Beck. Danica Claire Gubick.
Genevieve Nan.
Joseph Hernandez.
Peter Huang No.
Mia Sasni.
Lane Farber. Riley Corinne Johnson.
Sarah Xu.
Arti Aravapali. Yumi Kim. Dina Yezdi Hormuzdi.
George Mitchell Webster.
Luke James Todd Hindman. Samuel Jonathan Dos Curtis. Colby John Kalanya. Jacob Bordovsky.
Ashley Rose.
Ryan Chen. Kenneth Espinoza. Elizabeth Hammond.
Eileen Webb.
Ava Barrett. Binny Subin Bay. Avery Blackwell. Vaughn Blackwell. Isabella Bronya. McKenna Taylor Flood. Benjamin Edward Jackson Coulterjohn. Thomas Lee Fisher.
Emma Stauber.
William Durden.
Joseph Martin. Brianna Morrow. Jessica Taylor Michael. Alexandra Shallow. McKenna Sierra Thomas. Allison Marie Reams.
Ryan James Roller.
Rachel Anna Holzum.
Gracie Chin.
Dylan Timothy Kelly.
Edward Pace McDonald.
Adi Alexa Rodriguez.
Audrey Hamlet. Noah Contreras.
Ash Pillai. Anna Maria
Pescador.
Zoe Lara.
Camila Ramirez. Nabil Shamim.
Christopher Ryan Cardenas.
Madison Milan Win. Destiny Paxton. Akhil Satish Patel. Tori Prince.
Jude Hanvey.
Luke Witzel.
Austin Walker Fairchild. Daniel Garcia.
Jonathan Salazar. Justin Stafford. Michael Alexander Pequeño. Klaus Ryson Weber.
Charlie Lay.
Selena Wynn. Jaylene Tien Wynn.
Ha Young Cho. Helen Suelma Carter. Stacy Alicia Campbell.
Eleanor Solomon.
Amari Alford. Maya Nicole Lilly.
Eileen Camila Vasquez.
Jordan Leety.
Brooklyn Orishak. Anna Vermillion.
Kelly Dillard. Alexis Lauren Crowell. Paris Valencia Eskew.
Alyssa Mancias. Zana Asif Wahid.
Gracia Maria Fuentes Pocasangre.
Danielle Tauber.
Hannah Amoyles.
Darren Rolette.
David Alejandro Perez Barbosa.
Alejandra Rangel. Emma Vrana. Kayla Nicole Thompson.
Brian Daniel Garza.
Marcus Luis Matagrana.
Zait Ishel Barrios Gonzalez.
Malika Ravanasa. Selma Mijares.
Jin Yu Huang.
Ling Wen. Adi Sharma.
Jimena Noemi Escobedo.
Maria Eugenia Martins. Vivek Surati.
Adam Bardalis. Grace Hannah Cooper.
Michelle Noemi Martinez Ruiz. Haya Reis Mohammed.
Ali Asif. Anthony Lee.
Baxter Robert Wright. Emily Romo Hernandez.
Ashley Melissa Guzman.
Christy Tai. Jalen Suhey Castro. Jimena Araceli Tangasi.
Zachary Allen Lee. Yi Chun Ling. Derek Lamb. Cindy Liao.
Grace Elizabeth Martin.
Emily Juliet Blanco Flores. Elizabeth Christina De Leon.
Divi Raja.
Jane Liu. Leah Raquel Barrera. Brianna Isabel Gonzalez. Min Dao.
Renata Maria Salazar Olivas.
Sophia Lowe.
Rahil Motiwala.
Cesar Garcia. Sarah Bayenmonk. Eva Liu. Saliha Hilal Arankol.
Ashley Willis. Addie Yates.
Sri Veda Dulapala. Kendall Harvey. Marilyn Grace McCoy Ferre.
Dean Mercy, this completes the list of Bachelor of Science candidates from advertising. We will now present the degree candidates for the Bachelor of Science in Public Relations.
I'm now honored to represent our undergraduate degree candidates in public relations. Dean Mercy, on behalf of the faculty in the Stan Richer School of Advertising and Public Relations, I proudly present our public relations students who have completed their academic requirements and are entitled to receive their degrees.
Madison Rochelle Morris. Bryn Elizabeth Martinson.
Avery Cutter. Catherine Ann Lockett. Kennedy Cashin.
Molly Mastronardi. Annalee Grace Ramsey.
Pearson James Livingston. Elizabeth Byram.
Paulo Antonio Pastor. Sherwin Tasan Shan.
Milena Ruby Bell. Andrea Chavan.
Emerson Elizabeth Taylor.
Virginia Hope Baldwin.
Tessa Manning.
Scarlett Diana Hanvey.
Candace Michelle Ewan. Esther Kylene Ng.
Kendall Farmer. Madeline Baird.
Lucia Sines.
Annalise Hunicke.
Abigail Wagner.
Ellie Greer. Lily Keenest.
Anna Whitworth.
Caroline Coco. Abigail Cook. McKenna Carpenter. Umber Bawani. Annika Bree Grandel. Paula Hernandez.
Georgina Vargas.
Bethany Betsai Cantu.
Sanjana Shushil Kumar.
Cameron Horrigan.
John Rodriguez.
Valeria Best. Susana Isabella Cano Quintanilla. Caldwell Dixon Bobbitt.
Mariah McCardell.
Grace Brabham.
Lauren Govea. Bernice Chen.
Sarah Winch. Abby Mendez.
Shay Marie Edblum. Rhiannon Brahaney. Lena Brazzini.
Maggie Mullen.
Alexandria Gallup.
Taylin Page Wallace.
Nicole Liseth Danache.
Liliana Maza.
Caroline Hope Driggers. Alexa Flicht Siskowitz.
Rachel Kindy Simi Shadipe.
Ophelia Philly Brown. Keely Hall.
Samantha Seal.
Jody Ferguson. Diego Jared Artea. Sarah Michelle Rubio.
Nadia Edna Menchaca.
Nahal Chahan.
Alana McGrath. Madison Woods. Maxine Weegers. Phaedra Olivia Sully.
Mia Lauren Hernandez. Callista Cabato. Carla Arcega.
Salvador Valerio.
Virginia Jane Harrell.
Caroline Reed.
Anissa Mariah Gonzalez. Sunwoo Kim. Trinity Maclovia Arambula.
Sophia Andrea Marichal.
Elizabeth Colwick.
Lily White. Olivia Nance.
Presley Eccles.
Delaney Peters. Macon Rutledge. William Alec Toomey. Alexa Zohar.
Hannah Lee.
Kavia Murali. Olivia Mercedes Ortega.
Cassidy Grant. Michelle Arriaga Urbina. Alejandra Luisa de la O.
Jamie Martinez.
Shayna Champion.
Amber Harwood.
Megan Kelly O'Neill. Mary Frances McElroy.
Alexandra Lavish. Lily Black. Zibby Gibbons.
Nicholas Panis.
Maureen Francis Lyons. Carla Garduño. Chantal Flores Malagom.
Eva Nasseri. Vivian Wynn.
Esley Cruz.
Daniela Zavalos.
Olivia Duarte.
Anna Sophia Wolf.
Emily Irwin.
Amanda Madeline Neal. Lauren Pence. Julia Salas.
Isabella Flournoy.
Dean Mercy, this completes the list of Bachelor of Science candidates from Public Relations. Please introduce our next speaker.
Congratulations, graduates. It is now my honor and privilege to introduce this year's keynote speaker, Allison Akel, Chief Content Officer at Shondaland, the pioneering storytelling company. I will start by telling you that when we were talking about who might give this year's address, the Radio Television Film Chair Cindy McCreary mentioned that a Moody alum produced Bridgerton. I may or may not have used that as an excuse to watch the series for the second time, and thankfully Allison said yes before I made my husband watch it a third. I have now had the opportunity to meet the inspirational yet humble Allison Akel. Allison graduated from UT with her master's degree in screenwriting in 2006. Over the past 2 decades, she's made a tremendous name for herself and had a huge impact on Hollywood, co-producing some of the biggest shows we know. I already mentioned Bridgerton, which premiered in 2020 and at the time was the most watched series debut in Netflix history. I'll admit to contributing to those figures just a little. Bridgerton is now entering its 3rd season, which premieres next week, so good timing. The series has been critically acclaimed as magnetic and addictive, a period piece that redefines period pieces. It has commanding performances, extravagant costumes, and lavish sets that depict the romance of the Regency era. As co-executive producer, Allison is part of the vision behind these elements, working with writers, directors, cinematographers, costume designers, and others to bring that vision to the screen. It's an enormous accomplishment and not Allison's only one. There's also Queen Charlotte, which she co-produced, along with Inventing Anna, How to Get Away with Murder, and Station 19. I'll allow her to tell you a little more. Would everyone please welcome to the podium the incredibly talented Allison Akel.
Y'all, the shoes are on fire. I just have to say it, it's incredible. Good afternoon. I have to start by thanking not only Moody College, Dean Mercy, and Professor McCreary for inviting me, but truly y'all for this humbling and huge opportunity. It's not lost on me how lucky I am to be here to celebrate what you've achieved over these utterly wild recent years, or how lucky I am to have been here in the mid-2000s enjoying the formative experience of an RTF education. This city and this school fundamentally shaped me as a storyteller and a human being, and for that I'm forever grateful. But I will admit that when I was first asked, my immediate thought was, oh no, I'm not Bono. Let me explain. For weeks prior to my undergrad graduation, word on the street was we were getting Bono. And side note, my friends were like, please be cognizant of your age, and explained that Bono is the lead singer of Irish rock band U2 and a world-renowned activist. He was a big deal, it was a big get. But a week before he canceled, and his last-minute replacement was some president from a nearby college, and I swear to God, I honestly don't remember a word she said. I just remember being slightly hungover in the rain, hoping my divorced parents would get along. They did great. Sad about leaving my friends, and bummed my unrequited college love looked like he was gonna stay that way. So trust me, I have sat where you sit, and I'm deeply aware of how not Bono I am. I'm also aware that many of you never got a traditional high school graduation because of COVID, and that made me think a lot about what you hear at a high school graduation. Take the next 4 years to experiment, to let what you love find you. Oh, make mistakes as you stumble towards glory. And you don't necessarily hear that at a college or grad school commencement, but I wish the rallying cry I'd heard that day had invited me to let go of any preconceived notions of what I was supposed to be doing with my life. Because trust me when I tell you, I may have left UT with a terminal degree, but I was so far from finished. Obviously, the degree I obtained was an MFA in screenwriting, but I'm clearly not here to talk to you about the shows I created or the Oscar-winning movies I've written. Oops. I am here to talk to you about my failures, my detours, and about how my calling had to chase me down and scream in my face several times before I accepted it. And my hope is that taking you through the twists and turns of my journey in a highlight reel of hard-to-swallow realizations and surprisingly liberating pivots might be something I could offer that Bono could never. Growing up in Jersey, I dreamt of becoming an actress, and at 13 even made a go at it professionally for a couple years. But my parents soon wisely nudged me back to my studies. So I stuffed down those dreams and took on the real role of a lifetime, someone very serious. I became student body president. I interned for a state senator. I even won a Navy ROTC scholarship to Georgetown, thinking I'd become a judge advocate general. That's right, I ran so far and so fast from a life in the arts that I enlisted in the military. But what I think I really wanted was to play Demi Moore's role in A Few Good Men. That's more probable. 2 weeks before college, the Navy medically disqualified me for an autoimmune condition, or saw straight through me, let's be real. But I was devastated, and I was down a lot of money for school. It was not what I was anticipating. But what I was also not anticipating going to Georgetown for government, only to be pulled back to the arts by the magnetic cohort of comedians, filmmakers, and writers I'd encountered there. People like Jonah Nolan, Mike Birbiglia, Nick Kroll, Zalmat Monglich, Britt Marling, John Mulaney. There, I found a professor mentor and helped start both our campus's TV station and film festival, and by the end, I was completely dedicated to screenwriting. And when I thought of where I wanted to go hone that craft, UT in Austin loomed large in my imagination ever since I watched Dazed and Confused and Rushmore. Yeah, whatever world produced Richard Linklater and Wes Anderson was where I wanted to be. The script I wrote that got me in here was actually set at UT, what a kiss up. But I'd actually never set foot here. I moved here not knowing a soul, and honestly found that first semester lonely, and that writing could be lonely. I moved into an apartment at Guadalupe and 38th, next door to what I would soon learn was a meth lab. And I wrote a 160-page semi-autobiographical coming-of-age movie about my conversion to Catholicism and the death of Kurt Cobain. Wow, do you guys see why I'm not standing here a working screenwriter? Oof, 160, I should have been suspended. But my second semester, I had a class with Richard Lewis where he basically let me write an Adam Sandler comedy. Yeah! And he restored my faith in this path. But writing features still felt too solitary. I'm a social animal. I thrived collaborating with MFA directing students on their short films, acting, script supervising, begging Jimmy John's for free sandwiches for catering. I loved going to ACL Fest and working 3 jobs. But while doing all those things, I felt guilty because it always felt like I should be writing, and when I wasn't writing, I was failing. However, in class workshops sharing feedback with my peers, I came alive, being invited to imagine how their work could come to life on screen and offering up ideas that seemed to actually help them, ideas they could execute on, even if I had no idea how I would have done it. I also came alive as a teaching assistant for RTF 333, Intro to Screenwriting for Richard Lewis and then Scott Rice, helping undergrads invest in their work. And when I took the first ever at UT television writing class, taught by Stuart Kelvin back here, I came alive again. TV writing wasn't lonely. You worked in a room with other writers, sometimes in breaking the season, but sometimes by literally group writing episodes. This is an amazing discovery. We were assigned to write specs or sample episodes, and I decided to tackle my absolutely favorite new show my roomies and I would watch every week, live if you can believe it, Grey's Anatomy. I would later confess in my first interview with Shonda and my other incredible boss, her producing partner Betsy Beers, that I gave up almost immediately. A medical show that good? I think I'll switch to the OC. But TV was a revelation. And shortly after that, I graduated, and my childhood best friend Ashley and I moved to LA together to be TV writers. But while she and her boyfriend Bart actually became writing partners, I took a corporate 12 hours a day assistant job at Paramount Marketing, where I could not leave my desk and often had to wear my phone headset to bathroom breaks, but it gave me healthcare and access, and I was learning so much. But what I wasn't doing was writing. I was even in a writing group with Ashley and Bart and 3 of my closest UT friends, but eventually stopped turning pages in and would just give feedback. And we joked that I was playing the role of a development executive until I suddenly had the eureka moment. Maybe it wasn't a joke. What if I really tried to transition into a development assistant gig? And when I eventually did, I loved how development was pulling together a viable project out of some small germ of an idea. I could do that. I could give a real writer that and let them turn it into something amazing. I'd been doing that. I was so happy, except that I also felt so old at 29 to have discovered that this is what made me happy. In a town that runs under 30 lists, and where I once had a work drinks with another assistant who said, not knowing I was a 31-year-old assistant, mind you, if I'm still an assistant when I'm 30, kill me. And I was like, oh, I will kill you, right here at Earth Cafe on Melrose. But by 32, I'd finally gotten my full executive job. And I recall Stuart Kelvin once said to me, Akel, you're a good writer, but you're a born exec, and I think you're gonna run Hollywood someday. And I was furious. How dare you, Stuart? I was a writer. But he knew what I didn't know yet. And what I didn't realize was being a born exec isn't a bad thing. The single biggest lesson I learned here, aside from realizing I may not love writing as much as I love writers, was that all writing is rewriting. But I'd only just started a process that the real project that I had to rewrite was me. And as a student here, I never dreamed I'd be overseeing a culture-defining company slate, let alone getting to uphold the legacy of a history maker like Shonda. And over the past 11 years, it's been a privilege to work with two women who have rewritten television history with shows like Grey's, Scandal, How to Get Away with Murder, and to be a part of that now with Bridgerton. What a privilege to leave audiences super entertained while also changing people's minds about whose stories you should see on your screens, amplifying the voices of women, people of color, the LGBTQ community. And trust me, I still had a lot to learn when I landed in Shondaland. I had to rewrite myself from a very junior development executive to a true producer. And what does a true producer do? They pivot. You know, that thing that I did in total shame for years, from acting to the Navy to government to features to TV writing to just not writing. Well, I found a job where pivoting went from being my kryptonite to my superpower. And that screenwriting MFA from this world-class college was not wasted, because as a producer, all I do is communicate. A huge part of my job is just making sure exceptionally different people don't just talk to each other, but really hear each other. There's no right way to give a note or one solution for every problem. Oh my God, there are so many problems. There are creative problems, production problems, management problems, and solving problems all hinges on communication, chiefly helping people understand the best way to tell their story. And very soon after starting at Shondaland, I would meet the love of my life, finally, at 33, only to get chronically ill months into dating him and be humbled by needing his help doing everything from getting dressed to opening doors. Time to rewrite. Years later, I would have 3 miscarriages over 18 months, one of which involved a D&C that to this day I'm so grateful was safe and legal. Time to rewrite. And then suddenly, at nearly 41 in a global pandemic, it just happened, and I had a baby boy. And in parenthood, I'm thinking about your parents. And in parenthood, I rewrite daily. It's the best skill I learned because it's one of resilience, and I don't do it alone, and neither will you. You will help each other rewrite. The people sitting next to you right now. That writing group in LA that I never actually wrote for, Ash and Bart, would go on to eventually create the series Yellow Jackets. And ask my UT friends from that group, Omni, Rocha, and Liz Pong, to be executive producers on the show. And the 6th member of our group was Kimberly Jones, editor-in-chief of the Austin Chronicle. My UT cohort and students I taught are now award-winning writers, producers, and documentarians. They're huge indie film agents. Many of us wound up together in LA and have cheered each other on for almost 2 decades. What a gift UT gave me. I want to close by hearkening back to who else? Bono. Campus legend was, he'd had a pretty good reason for bailing, a meeting with the new Prime Minister of Afghanistan, because 9/11 happened my senior year. I watched the Pentagon burn from campus, and I called Ashley, who watched the second tower fall from her Columbia dorm rooftop. And we sat on the phone together, wondering, like, is this it? Is this the end? So I really have been you, possibly hungover, possibly dealing with awkward family dynamics, about to step into the supposed real adult times in a moment of total uncertainty and deep grief on a global scale. And perhaps counterintuitively, it encouraged me to move towards hope and community and telling stories that might make everyone feel less alone and more seen. So if at some point, or even right in this very moment, you think to yourselves about your field of study, I actually don't want to do this. I don't think I love this. I'm not really as good at this as I thought. That's great news. That's as powerful a piece of knowledge as you could ever leave here with. It won't make everything you learned here any less relevant or crucial. It just all informs the journey. Living is rewriting. You're promised nothing, you are guaranteed nothing. You all know this. This has been your collective lived experience since you were teens. It's a terrifying thought. I feel that big time, but I think it also can be a liberating and a hopeful thought. As the exceptional graduates of Moody College, you'll be asked to choose every day not only what you communicate with your voice, but the voices you amplify. You'll be asked to help people actually hear each other. And I cannot wait to see what you do with this immense power. Congratulations, class of 2024. Hook 'em.
Well, Allison, thank you. Thank you for reminding us of the power of rewriting and that we have to all have the opportunity to do so. Thank you for using your voice and the voices you amplify to uplift the world we're living in. And thank you for being better than Bono. Please help me in giving Allison another round of applause. Now we have a bit more business to do. We will now present the degree candidates from the School of Journalism and Media. Candidates, please approach the stage.
Good afternoon. I'm David Reif, Director of the School of Journalism and Media, and I'm honored to represent our undergraduate degree candidates. Dean Mersey, on behalf of the faculty of the School of Journalism and Media, I proudly present our students who have completed their academic requirements and are entitled to receive their degrees.
Avery Huff. Lauren Feldot. Grayson Freiling. Annabella Cooper. Madison Esmobegi. Riley Glenn.
Mackenzie Matwick. Emily James Lucinda McCutcheon. Lainey Steinhardt.
Dina Barish.
Carolyn Elizabeth Parmer.
Athena Hawkins.
Zoe Zanis.
Robert Connor Downs. Miranda Garza.
Claire Wahid. Madison Marie Myers.
Adam Cherian.
Jesus Octavio Vidales. Bryn Palmer. Sonali Menon. Grace Warhurst.
Faith Renee Dufresne. Taryn Jones.
Talia Minchaca.
Caroline Hooton. Bree Tien de la Tour. Paula Klaus.
Edley Termillion. Grayson Strauss. Mackenzie Nabi. Bailey Rosado. Katie Nelson.
Madeline Jane Duncan. Riley Lillibridge.
Morgan Severson.
Sophia Elisabeth Kurtz. Emily Engelbart.
Valeria Moreno Vasquez. Ikram Hussein Mohammed.
Emily Flores.
Janelle Tanguma.
Ronan Benford. Miranda Ray Casares. Megan Elizabeth Gross.
Jasmine Marie Palacios.
Madeline Lambert.
Tanya Valeria Velasquez. Michelle Jocelyn Tamayo.
Melanie Nicole Favs.
Tamara Rodriguez. Andrew Peterson.
Jason Kinander.
Tommy Yarish.
Alyssa Renee King.
Russell Crawford.
Justin Slaughter. Lauren Womack. Guido Pelufo.
Melanie Raquel Leon Tejada.
Molly Joe Tilton. Emmanuel Ramirez.
Marisa Varela. Marina Gallo.
Sofia Trevino Cisneros.
Nicola Ianelli.
Madeline Stuffler.
Joseph Bowen. Satvik Alala.
John Ulacio. Grace Rampal.
Megan Lake.
Isabella Grace Waltz. Gwendolyn Reed.
Daniel Guell.
Caroline Stiff. Ariana Marie Suniga. Mackenzie Sullivan.
Emma Golden. Abigail Barkin. Lily Kane.
Ava Sudek. Tiani Nelson. Sofia Maria Navarro.
Matthew Alfredo Collier. Olivia Gamble. Casey Ellis. Fiza Parveen Kuriel.
Kevin Vu.
Alishba Javed.
Sarah Zaidi.
Deborah Hill. Damiana De La Paz.
Kai Miller. Heather Stewart.
Claire Dominic Smith.
Darren Pukala. Theodore Warner. Erica Sykes.
Mia Rachel Duffy. Kevin Bosker. Lauren E. Coops.
Brooke Elizabeth Weatherby. Lane Noel Rice. Monse Suarez.
Ivy Seamus Fowler. Jolie Leviton. Sharon Lobo.
Sumer Zachariah. Jason Brian Martinez. Joshua Whalen.
Jessica Marcella Garcia. Zoe Bater. Vashay Davis.
Julia Mehavier. Mariela Viela. Hope Irene Unger. Neha Mahira.
Elizabeth Jimenez. Dacia Garcia.
Amaris Michaela Ovalle. Amsol Aziz Madani.
Tez Akinsaya.
Jackson Baird. Christina Folsom.
Araya Monet Rivera Clemente.
Eloise Beck. Emma Brooks Gilliam. Ava Amidio. Hee-Hwan Jong.
Dean Mercy, this completes the list of Bachelor of Journalism candidates. And last but certainly not least, we will recognize the degree candidates for the Bachelor of Science in Radio, Television, Film.
Hello, I'm Professor Cindy McCreary, Chair of the Department of Radio, Television, and Film, and I'm honored to present our undergraduate degree candidates.
Dylan Jacob Sharp. Jeffrey Souza.
Diamond Benjamin.
Wilson Welch.
William Walton Florer. Chloe Shea Landau.
Margaret Caroline McInnes. Catherine Brenna Robinson.
Christian Bark. Macaroni Bark.
Gustavo Misael Pereda. Liam Smith.
Carlisle Hall. Kevin Ahern.
Isabel Ansaratum. Mason Simpson.
Hunter Dale Gassaway. Emily Barrett. Allison Bonsall.
Sydney Nicole Traylor. Angelina Sofia Velez.
Hannah Robertson.
Sydney Evelyn Kerr. Tessa Kenworthy. Jacob Jesus Campos.
Cheney Stevenson. Mateo Raul Ze. Cindy Tran.
Gianna Rowan Augusto. Yasamin Ebrahimian. Lyndon Dodson. Sydney Cox.
Chelsea Diaz.
Bonnie Horn.
Jaden Patterson. Sham Madav.
Litsanami Abigail Gonzalez. Michael Kenneth Braden. Gray Riley Johnson. Justin Eggert. Ethan Greeno.
Juliet Roberts. Lucas Steed.
Jacob Garrison Salter.
Ashley Mack. Tony Ninoff.
A.C. Hanstead. Sophia Elizabeth Antonora. Hannah Elizabeth Garcia.
Isabella Marco.
Noah Feynman. Harrison Lyndon Chu. Adeline Scott Irwin.
Lane Manzai.
Xavier Ingram.
Garrett Zartman.
Marcelo Cisneros. Marilyn Giselle Alvarado.
Marlon Rubio Smith.
Brandy Ali Frausto. Sofia Isabella Leal.
Nicole Yen.
Benjamin Clark. Samuel Gerstein. Marissa Renee Juarez. Jada Burciaga. Lauren Jones.
Olivia K. Rocha.
Clarice Ackerman. Kaylee Johnson. Miguel Araiza Camacho. Candice
Chris Wester.
Salvador Vargas.
Lillian Clark. Vivian Lai.
Kiara Itzel Vasquez. Kayla Miller. Jersey Robinson.
Tarnisha Denise Floyd. Sasha Faye Haynes.
Donovan David Ricondo.
Isaac Thomas Hermosillo.
Tatum Ostos.
Bowen Richard Jacobs. Morgan Teresa Levy.
Jasmine Ann Umrish.
Devin Jones.
Diego Vasquez.
Kaylin Carr.
Ileana Danielle Rowland. Jada Newhouse.
Rachel Galindo. Frida Lopez Stern.
Steven Santiago Thayez. Sebastian Thayez.
Alexis Davis. Catherine Coleman.
Cameron Thomas Porter.
Robinson Lopez. Brandon Michael Garcia. Thomas Daniel Galland.
Sam Mitchell. Adam Ali Moran.
Katerina Elise Flores.
Macy Rocky. Austin Tackman. Sanyam Aslam Nurani. Max Nathan. Caitlin Sad. Connor Christopher Steen.
Edward Lambert.
Nicholas Muniz.
Travis Flippo. Patrick Dion.
Hayden Mays. Tristan Tiberius Kim Soon Maravilla.
Melody Soraya Akbari.
Francesca Zoe Nelly. Amelie True.
Julian Ray Binsol Canlas.
Isha Nigudkar. Zoe Danielle Pena.
Sophia Caduro. Noah Hirsch. Scott John Convery. Zain Hussein.
Alexander Mansky.
Keep going.
Kaylee Noe Sandoval. Isabel Velasquez.
Jessica Hammond. Taylor Long. Honesty Gonzalez.
Natalie Weinberg. Samantha Patricia Rosas. Rebecca Sadia.
Robert Johansson. Ava Cornelius. Riley Elena Church. Letty Ann Dyer. Jackson Theodore Buffington.
Map, Avery Pesqueria. Keontae Kismay Reese.
Carla Marie Luna. Aaron Gabaldon. Maya Cayutes.
Teddy Hidan.
Mitch Collier.
Alora Renee Thompson.
Catherine Elizabeth Rose Hill.
Caroline Louise Omler. Shazan Samanani.
Amanda Archer. Chase Andrew Gallmeyer. Johnny Enriquez.
Daniel Munoz Montero. Drew Connor Salazar.
Avery Luna. Avery Lauren Gann. Catherine Creevy. Mary Jewel Cook.
Athena Polimenes. Francesca Sophia Turgeon. Quinn Wilson.
Sienna Johnson. Joseph Marcos Lopez. Servando Hernandez. Emily Daeli Leandro.
Benjamin Vogel. Caleb Wade Newman.
Odalis Fernandez.
Michaela Rose Vasquez. Madeline Ray Valadez.
Navarra Chacaris.
Comey Wynn. David Picorni.
Grayson Moore. Daniel Maxwell Ferriston. Oscar Lebovich.
Caitlin Mansberger. Ashlyn Violet Tetra.
Abigail Lux Gonzalez. Eliza Maranyon Batong Malaki. Shelton Locke.
Kelso Meeks. Isabella Salma Saman.
Camille Layen.
Jacqueline Milstein.
Diego Eduardo Escobedo. Jake Alvarez. Ezra Gomez.
Tristan Morgaine Thomas.
Madeline Catherine Arajo.
Samantha Emily Pearl. An Mi Win.
Spencer Diaz.
Jason Tien. Faith Potter. Pebbles Mumau.
Alexandra Elizabeth Floriano. Thomas Edward Lemke.
Tomas Wilson. Faye Scarjune.
Oriana Leon. Maritza Hirschman.
Ella Deidra Wells.
Jade May Huynh.
Janae Monique Welcome.
Elijah Shiloh Bowman. Ashley Nicole Diaz. Casey Perez Voss. Logan Renee Kelly. Ivana Michelle Arias Moreno.
Bella Soleil Salem.
Luke Leachman. Julia Kennedy Hunt. Lara Best. Samantha Murdoch Hussey. Marnie Geed. Anna Elisa Laurent Cejudo. Megan Grace Foster. Lauren Hawhey.
Ramina Ramazani. Whitney Williams.
Patrick Duckworth. Miranda Brisa Hernandez.
Mary Elizabeth Stone. Santiago Pacheco. Carla Lisbeth Villegas. Andrew Orticio.
Edward Hejun Kim. Joseph Bo Brewer.
Hannah Sigler.
Jimena Cifuentes Chavez. Fernanda Loesa Gonzalez. Moran Onetu.
Madeline Wood.
Catherine Jacoby.
Carly Ann Ramos. Elaine Yao.
Lorena Taryn Childs. Efren II.
Emily McClure. Alyssa Stanso.
Ramsey Ahwad. Julia Langlois.
Madison Payne.
Maddie Cecilia Abdallah.
Ricardo Veliz.
Ryan J. Serna.
Roberto Cifuentes.
Andrea Montserrat Garcia.
Peyton Wyatt. Araneda Rendon Sanchez. Luana Recarte Tavera.
Dominic Chapuzio. Madalena Joy Lupold.
Elijah Sela. Robin Wasachek.
Eric Brown.
Daniel Ross.
Grayson Callender.
Rebecca Yee.
Mia Daniela Alejo.
Chase Chuanyang Wei. Renee Xiong.
Joy Gao. Guillermo Correa Cervantes.
Isaiah Gianni Trevino. Ethan Rodarte.
Anahita Clarice Escher.
Martha Martinez. Adonais Zeleke.
Manasi Ugarmote.
Arjun Desai.
Edward McKeel. Kaylee Stark.
Matthew Page Alexander. Amelia Ann Barrera. Holly Bach. Marianne Lemasters.
Israel Reyes.
Nina Raquel Baggio. Jeanette Guadalupe Calderon.
Valeria Alejandra Santiago Lopez. Reese James Simmons. Caden Alexander McGee.
Abigail Lee Armstrong.
Dean Mercy, this completes the list of Bachelor of Science candidates from the Department of Radio, Television, Film.
Congratulations, graduates. Let's give all of our graduating students another huge round of applause for this major milestone. As we conclude today's graduation ceremony, I'd like to provide instructions on how to exit the Moody Center. Parents and family, we ask that you stay in your seats until all the graduates have processed out. Graduates, you will exit up the staircases nearest you and walk up the Moody Center Stadium stairs and then out to congregate and meet with your friends and families at the west entrance. If that sounds confusing, our undergraduate education staff are here to help you navigate it. Guests, as our last graduates leave the arena stairs, we ask that you follow them to join them on the Dell Technologies Plaza, which is on the west side of the Moody Center. Who knows where that is? The side that faces the stadium. Please do not attempt to enter the arena floor. We need to exit as quickly as possible so the Moody Center may prepare for the next graduation ceremony. Lastly, I want to provide you with some reminders regarding the university-wide commencement on Saturday. Graduates will be required to have tickets for entry, but guests do not. Please make sure to review the emails sent to you from the university commencement team as they outline important check-in information. While Moody College is well known for being incredibly collaborative, and I think I've shown that I'm a bit sentimental today, I must say that I also have a bit of a competitive streak. Tomorrow night, when I get to the podium to recognize you, I ask that you scream loudly for Moody. There may be colleges twice our size, but none as loud and proud as Moody College. Let's make sure everyone hears that we are the best college on this campus. Once again, I'd like to extend my sincerest congratulations to the class of 2024. We'll see you tomorrow evening in the Darrell K. Royal Texas Memorial Stadium to celebrate you once again. Now go out there and change the world. Welcome. This concludes our graduation ceremony.